Hi guys, I'm Carissa, and I have depression. Some of you just heard that, and some of you may have just thought, oh my god, what a freak. Some of you may think, oh, I do too. Some of you may think, no, you don't. Truth is, I do. And I just came out and said it. Woo, yay. I have many mental disorders. Depression is the most basic one that most people know that I have. I'm going to talk about my experience with depression and what to do about it. Everybody's is different. Everything is different. It doesn't help. I have CFS, so chronic fatigue syndrome, or something with the C is something, okay? Fatigue disorder. So I'm always tired. I am always aching. I am not in good shape. So sometimes you can't distinct that from depression, and also being a teenager, my hormones, you can't always say this is hormones, this is depression. It's harder than that. There is never an exact answer. I got diagnosed with depression before I was going through puberty, so they did know I had it. And I have, not situational. Situational is like when your dog dies and you get sad. I have chemical depression, yeah. And it's pretty much when the tubes in my brains are in the back of my brain. And, like, I'm just the best I'm going to describe it. There's two tubes. There's more than two, but, like, these two, they, like, fuel your emotions, and chemicals go out of this tube and come into this one, and it's a cycle. Well, mine don't. They go out of the tube, and they get sucked back in, and they get out of the tube, and they go around, and they get sucked back in. It's just, it's difficult. It's not easy. How it feels, there are days I won't get out of bed. I won't eat. I will sleep all day. I will cry at anything. Somebody looks at me wrong and I'm going to break down in tears. There's times when I act social and I won't let out any emotion at all, which is usually I don't let out emotion. I don't show my emotions. I don't show that I'm sad anyway. I never cry, which is an awkward thing, but it's just weird with depression. So many children have it, so many, and there are so many more mental disorders than depression, but I'm just going to talk about depression right now and what I've been through. I remember when I first came out with suicidal thoughts from depression, and my friend, her mom overheard, and her mom told my mom. And so my mom started taking me to counseling, and they were pretty much like, yeah, you have depression, whatever, no big deal. And I was just like, kind of like, alright, like, my mom has depression. I knew what it was. I was like, okay, if that's all there is to it, cool. It's not. Just talking about your feelings isn't always going to help in every single way. As it went on and on, I couldn't sleep because of it. Like, instead of sleeping all the time, I couldn't sleep at all. And I would stay up until 3 a.m. and I had voices in my head, and all I could do is nothing. It was pretty much from the suicidal thoughts. And I didn't know what to do. I just sat in a corner and hid, is how I felt. I felt non-existent. I felt useless. I felt unloved. I felt alone. I knew I wasn't alone. I knew I could talk to my mom, but I didn't think it was bad enough I needed to talk to her. I thought it was just a teenager thing, becoming a teenager, like, no big deal. I finally, after the voices were in my head telling me to hurt myself, and I needed to die, and stuff like that, it's the worst thing in the world. I sat down with my mom. I could tell my mom anything. I said, Mom, I can't take it anymore. She's like, what do you mean? I explained. So she took me to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist officially diagnosed me with depression, like for real, and got me on medication right away. And people think whenever you get on medication, it takes one day, and all of a sudden, oh my god, I feel so much better, I took a pill. No. It's very difficult, and sometimes you don't know if it's working. You usually should, but it takes 3 to 6 weeks for the medication to even start building up in your body to start working. And then I think it's different with some of them, but it should take 3 weeks at least. And then you have to change doses, or you have to change medications. I had to change medications once because the effect it was having on my stomach was not a good one. It was giving me really severe stomach aches. So we switched, and I'm taking citrulline, yeah, which is like an off-brand not Xanax, something. I think Xanax, it could be Xanax. Or, no, Zoloft. I think Zoloft. And I did get help, and I started going to a counselor, and it helped, but I felt like the freaky kid in school. Honestly, I felt like everybody knew my secret, and I thought it was normal also to talk about your depression. Like, honestly, in school, if you want to, go ahead, but you honestly shouldn't really go out and tell everybody about your problems and stuff, because then I started feeling like an outcast and nobody felt like me. But in all reality, there are so many children that probably feel a lot like you. It's a tough thing. Like, some kids don't believe I have depression. They're like, no, you're completely fine. Somebody says, like, you don't take medication. I take a lot of medication. In one day, I take 6 pills. 6 pills. It's not bad compared to other people. I take 2 for depression. I take 1 for iron because the depression pills have not helped my iron supplement. Or that's what I take, an iron supplement. My iron levels. But most girls have an iron deficiency. I'm just one of them. But the depression medication was not helping it. Then I take 2 for sleeping because I do have trouble falling asleep, and yeah. And then I take 1 for allergies. So only all but 1 of those is important. And it's a process, it's a difficult process, and I finally started feeling normal again. I do have my ups and downs. 2 weeks ago I went in for another appointment, because I get them, I think, every 2 or 3 months now, but at first it was like every week. And then they start spacing it out as you start feeling a little better. And this time he asked me to fill out like a paper on how I feel. Like, they have check marks. It's on strongly disagree, disagree, neither disagree or agree, agree or strongly agree. And it was really, really good results. So I feel better, but just know you're not alone. I did, the middle of this last year, took up self-harming. I thought it was a smart thing to self-harm, and I thought it helped. When it doesn't, you sting for a couple minutes, and then you go back feeling miserable. It doesn't help. It's not a smart thing to do. And told my mom about it, and my psychiatrist, and I got help that I needed, because it is an addiction, and it was a very, very, very severe thing. But my suicidal thoughts, my wants for cutting, anything like that, or any type of self-harm, are over. I feel better now. It's a really good feeling. Depression isn't a joke. When people make fun of self-harm or depression or anything like that, it's very upsetting. Or when people say, like, they act like I can help it. I cannot help my emotions. I cannot help the way my brain works. Sometimes I think I do. Sometimes I don't. Everybody has different ways they see stuff. But I just hope, if you're seeing this and you have depression, tell somebody. Don't keep it to yourself. Tell somebody. Open up. Somebody cares. Somebody loves you. And I promise. I hope you guys have a good day. And I love you all.